I am starting the live stream.
Okay.
President on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to allow everyone in the waiting room.
Live stream looks good.
We are ready to begin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Cannabis Regulation Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, November 19th, 2020, and the time now is 2:01. I am President Robert On, and I'll be chairing this meeting. And the following commissioners have also joined this meeting virtually via Zoom. We have Vice President Mason and Commissioners Mercado, Naro, and Villa. DCR's Executive Director, Kat Packer, has also joined the meeting, along with other members of the department and the City Attorney's Office. I'm going to start with some housekeeping items today. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is being conducted virtually via Zoom and is also live streamed on the DCR's website. Folks who wish to watch this meeting may do so by visiting cannabis.lacity.org and clicking the About menu at the top. And under the About menu, clicking on the Commission Meetings link. You can then scroll down to the bottom of the Commission's Meetings page to find the live stream. You can also listen to this meeting by calling council phone at 213-621-2489 or 818-904-9450 and selecting the number for this meeting. Members of the public who wish to offer public comment can do so by calling one of the two toll-free numbers, 877-853-5257 or 888-475-4499. Enter meeting ID 860-838-7310. These numbers can also be found on the agenda for today's meeting. The agenda for today's meeting can be found on the department's website at cannabis.lacity.org and navigating to the commission page under the About menu. This meeting is being recorded, therefore we ask commissioners, department staff, and also all the members of the public during public comment to state your name clearly when you speak for the record, and the audio file will be posted online within 48 hours of the meeting. When the item you wish to speak is called on, press *9 to get on the speaking queue, and our executive assistant will call out each speaker by the last 4 digits of their phone number to identify the caller, and she will unmute the speaker. The speaker will hear that they have been unmuted on their side of the line, and you'll have 1 minute to speak for each item. If there are no other items you wish to speak on, you may disconnect from this call and view the meeting via the live stream or dial a council phone to listen only. Today we'll be following the agenda in order, and today's presentation to the commission will also be available on the department's website within 2 business days from this meeting. Today we'll consider general public comment and single or multiple agenda items together. And once again, you'll have 1 minute for general public comment and 1 minute per item with a maximum of 2 minutes for multiple items. We ask that speakers state whether they are providing general public comment and or which other items they are speaking on. Today we'll have a maximum time of 1 hour allowed for combined general comment and single or multiple agenda items. With that, I'm going to go ahead and open the general public comment and single or multiple agenda items. Speakers can address the commission on non-agenda related items that are within the jurisdiction of the commission or provide public comment for items in today's agenda by dialing *9 on your telephone. Commissioners and staff, please mute your microphones. Mr. Vizo, please call the first speaker.
Yes. Caller with phone number ending in 9669. You are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Good afternoon. This is Lauren Langer. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lauren Langer. I'm the Assistant City Attorney for the City of West Hollywood, and I am providing general public comment. People
Okay, thank
are
you. You
coming
have
before.
one, I'm sorry. You have 1 minute.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
ready. Thank you. People will be coming before the commission today to talk about Cookies Dispensary at 8630 Melrose because this business has caused nuisance activities and changed the character of the neighborhood, some of which is within the city of West Hollywood. It's our understanding that the dispensary is operating on a provisional and not a permanent license, and the speakers today ask that this license not be made permanent. The neighbors will tell you their experiences. I can tell you the impact the business is having on your neighboring city, West Hollywood. The business has cost West Hollywood significant resources, and that's not acceptable during a time of global health pandemic. The city has changed its parking restrictions in the neighborhood in response to crowds, and the restrictions are ignored. The city has to increase enforcement efforts. Not only is there illegal parking, blocking of driveways, our residents report erratic and dangerous driving, loud noise, loitering, public smoking of cannabis, public urination, and the armed security guards for the business make the residents feel less safe. West Hollywood has increased its public safety presence in the neighborhood, which costs money and takes this resource away from other areas of the city, all because of one business. West Hollywood has installed a temporary cul-de-sac outside the business to direct impacts to
Thank you.
commercially
Your
zoned
minute
streets.
is up. Caller with phone number ending in 9839, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the item you wish to speak on.
Yes, hi. This is Lauren Meister. I'm a council member for the City of West Hollywood.
Please state
just
which item you are speaking on.
on the general comments.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. I just wanted to echo the comments of our Assistant City Attorney, Lauren Langer. Our residents have been gravely impacted by the cookies business on Melrose, as well as your own city's businesses and residents being impacted. We have put forth many resources, police, our public safety resources, financial resources, parking resources, all because of this one business that the impacts on that neighborhood have just been beyond anything you can imagine. I'm here representing our residents who have been crying out for help for months and months and months. So we ask you, do not give this business a permanent license and do whatever you can to shut down this business as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 7006, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the item you wish to speak on.
Yes, I'd like to speak on all items in generalized public comment, if I may.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Well,
I'm
but all
sorry,
items.
you said all.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
all items plus the general public comment portion.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I love the cookies. The cookies has been a great thing during this pandemic. Now people got a place to go. I mean, you know, right now, don't pardon me, hold on. Yeah, I'm getting a little high here. Don't mind me. Anyway, it's good when people get a little weed in them right now. There's a lot of stress right now, a lot of problems financially and civilly, but you know, pot don't goddamn cause no problems. So why these investing intruders from WeHo? Why they trying to attack our local businesses? Why? Now, what has West Hollywood done for the city of Los Angeles? How about all the years that you brought in the sheriff's department to write all those DIUs and all those DUI checkpoints on people coming off a Sunset from LA City into your city? How about all the times you've targeted Angelinos for arrest, prosecution, search, seizure, and towing away of their vehicles? You've been a bad neighbor to us, haven't you, fool? And now you want to come in here and shut our business down? Fuck you. Okay? You were never a good neighbor to us, so we gonna operate a little bit more the way we want to operate. And there ain't a goddamn thing you gonna do about it but sit back and go, well, I shouldn't have done all that shit to those businesses down at Sunset Boulevard. I shouldn't have been going and writing tickets, paying off the sheriff's department for part of the towing fees. But that's what you do. You and Beverly Hills, you're both criminals. So disregard their comments. What they want to do is open up their own pot businesses on their side because they ain't getting the city taxes. That's why. So they screaming about PAC and they screaming about that. They ain't nothing but a bunch of foes. Look at the last election. They kicking out everybody because they stupid. So if you want to get high and you got the time to buy, head over to Cookie, Melrose. They give you the best quality, the best price, the best service, and there's plenty of parking. And if you see sheriff's deputies, they're not allowed on the Los Angeles city limits. Tell them bye-bye.
Thank you. Your time is up.
I'm busy. Thank
Caller with phone number ending in 0456, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Yes, my name is Alexis Bronson, and this is General Comments.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Yes, I'm calling because I would like to request that a member of your commission during your Q&A session with the director of DCR Cat Packer at the end of this meeting to inquire about more guidance regarding how and when a social equity applicant may sell their licensing asset to another social equity applicant. The reason why is because I have lost site control and I'm hanging by a thread here. And this would be a good exit opportunity for me to raise, use the proceeds of any sale to kickstart my delivery business. If I can get a commissioner member to get some clarity from Cat Packer on this, I would really appreciate it. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 5145, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hi, my name's Matt Wilson. I want to talk on general public and also every topic you guys were discussing earlier.
Okay. Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
First of all, hope everyone's doing well and staying healthy. I operate with Bake Flowers delivery service in West LA. We're a licensed delivery service, but however, we've been waiting for the last 3 years for the pilot program to be out here in the city of Los Angeles. But recently they scrapped that, and now they're extending social equity until 2025. And I don't feel like it's actually fair that they are doing that. They want to combat racism within the system with racism from what I see, and also with these other people on here talking about the cookies and such. Do they not understand that's a minority operated business? They should want that in their town, but not to get sidetracked. For me, though, for us legendary operators that help get us here to this conversation, I feel like the city should hold true to their word to show a good example for other businesses to do the same by still issuing those 20 pilot licenses for legendary operators, and then still allow the social equity and get back on track to allow all social equity applicants the right to get into the industry. However, if that last guy's comment trying to already sell his license when people are trying to get out here and still get theirs, even other legendary operators, I find it ridiculous that people are just trying to get these just to sell them. This shouldn't be used as some kind of cash crop. It should be used for those operators that understand the legitimacy of cannabis and medicinal cannabis moving forward, and all of us could get a piece of the pie. We just want Herb Wesson and Cat Packard to hold to their word. That way it can set a good example. And for those people in West Hollywood, let Cookies do their thing. Yet again, minority company. We need more of them in this industry. And they have great products. Everything's lab tested. I think it just comes down to people understanding that, oh crap, something we were against for so long, it's only inevitable, basically only time will tell that it's going to be everywhere. But stay positive. Thank you for your time. And yes, the legendary pilot program, please, City of Los Angeles, what happened? There's a lot of us here. So thank you.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 3157, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
2 minutes, general public comment, and one item.
Thank you. You have 2 minutes.
I am Sarah Armstrong, Director of Industry Affairs for Americans for Safe Access. Our organization was the first advocacy organization to sue the City of Los Angeles on a cannabis ordinance a decade ago. Recognizing the equity and fairness of our arguments, the city changed its ordinance and in doing so mooted our case, an outcome which benefited all sides. ASA is not a party to the current delivery license lawsuit, but we feel that the same solution would work wonderfully in this case. The recent destruction of the delivery pilot program would be addressed by reimagining the program. The 40 social equity licenses would remain, but the 20 general licenses would become social equity Tier 3 licenses, and those licensees would be required to make in-lieu payments or incubate, just as Phase 2 Tier 3 non-retail licensees are now required to do. This has already been tried in Oakland and is working well there. ASA stands in strong support of this solution, which was originally suggested by one of the plaintiffs. By making the changes outlined above, you moot the suit, but still honor the city's original commitment to a delivery pilot program, which was part of the city's cannabis ordinance for over 2 years and was relied upon by those currently bringing suit. As someone who has been working with the city on cannabis policy for over 15 years, I believe, based on the historical record, that this is a fair and workable solution for both the city and the plaintiffs. Thank you for your time and attention. Do the commissioners or DCR's representatives have any questions for me?
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 0184, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Scott, and I'm speaking general public comment.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Hi, I'm a representative of the Brinson Consulting Group. We are Phase 3 round 1 applicants, as well as Phase 3 delivery applicants. I'm calling in today to address a few of my concerns with the Social Equity Program application review process. As you already know, retail property is very expensive, and it's a requirement moving forward in the licensing process. As business owners who have already wasted thousands of dollars on properties that we couldn't use because of the negligence of the DCR in the city of LA, we deserve a clear timeline on business modification requests, as well as the application review process. We're very pleased to see that the DCR has updated its website, but we don't see anything regarding a fee deferral program, nor do we see a timeline for any of the workflow process. Timelines are crucial for business plans and business organizations. If there is no timeline, there is no transparency. If we have a timeline to pay fees, we should definitely have a timeline.
Thank you. Your minute is up.
Thank you.
Caller with phone number ending in 7959, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on. Caller with phone number ending in 7959, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I am a resident of West Hollywood. I live within 1 block of Cookies Dispensary on the corner of Melrose and Kings Road. I would like to speak on, I guess, general comment. And
you have 1 minute, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I am asking in any way, shape, or form to request the, I guess, not the renewal of Cookies. Dealing with issues in my neighborhood and my community for well over a year now. It's got to the point where we have shut down the street at the border of, Kings Road and Melrose, blocking the city of West Hollywood from the city of LA, the traffic coming through. I have so many issues. It's really unfortunate that it's really got to this point. We're experiencing everything in our neighborhood, from armed robberies to assault, to fights, to threats, to theft, to car accidents, speeding, donuts, public urination, excessive noise, of course, the marijuana smoke, and the trash. Ongoing problems that only continue to get worse, no matter which way we turn, no matter who we talk to.
Thank you, your minute is up. The next caller doesn't show the number, but you should hear a message that says you're unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant William Mulder from West Hollywood Sheriff Station. I'm speaking on general comments.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners. I am speaking about the Cookies marijuana dispensary at Melrose and Kings Road in the city of Los Angeles. Cookies has really negatively impacted the adjacent residential enclave of the city of West Hollywood. As you know, it's right on the border. There are cars speeding, marijuana smoking, trash thrown in the street and sidewalk, assaults, vehicle collisions, threats, loitering, trespassing, using people's front yards as a restroom, and other criminal issues such as robberies. There's been arrest for gun possession, and customers of Cookies came into the city of West Hollywood not so long ago and engaged in a shooting. And that's just to name a few of the issues we've been experiencing. The city of West Hollywood has changed the parking permit regulations in the area. They've added speed bumps to Kings Road and have created a cul-de-sac on Kings Road just south of Melrose to try to mitigate some of these issues. West Hollywood Sheriff Station has also dedicated numerous resources to enforcement resulting from Cookies. Our special teams conduct weekly operations there to help mitigate the impact. Our regular teams also on their regular duty shifts conduct patrol checks and enforcement, as well as our regular patrol who are over there often on enforcement and responding to calls for service. We really appreciate our partnership with LAPD Wilshire, specifically Officer O'Brien, and also Councilmember Paul Koretz's office, City Attorney's office, and the Mayor's office. And we appreciate them working with us on this issue. And it's really critical to solve this problem before anyone is seriously injured or worse. And we can kind of restore the peaceful community that once existed prior to this business. And we really appreciate the Commission's help with this issue and consideration, and I thank you.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 6060, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, my name is Kevin Nahai, and I'm speaking on a general public comment.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Hi, my name is Kevin Nahai. I am calling from the office of Councilman Paul Koretz in District 5. I am the field deputy for the area for Councilmember Paul Koretz. I just wanted to say that I am happy to be here today to hear from our constituents and our neighbors about the issues in their community regarding Cookies, the dispensary. And we are very grateful that our constituents and neighbors have this commission to present their comments and concerns to. So I wanted to thank the commission for taking the time to hear our constituents' concerns. And on behalf of Councilmember Paul Koretz, thank you everyone who has come to this meeting to say your concerns to the commission, and thank you to the commission for listening.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 6062, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on. Caller with
Hi,
phone. Oh, go ahead.
my name is Zachary Pitts. I have general public comments.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Hi, I am a legacy delivery service that used to operate in Los Angeles. It was very frustrating and really devastating when the city council decided to change the ordinance to take away a path to licensure before 2025. There's still an illicit delivery business, and there are licensed delivery operators outside of the city of LA delivering into LA, but they removed that option of general applicants and tier 3 applicants who support the social equity system from getting licensed in any near time. As other people have mentioned, we were in the same situation where we have invested money into location, into build out, into employment of people in the city of LA. All of that has now been dashed. I urge the commission to examine this. I urge the city council to examine this. In many ways, these legacy operators are people who would be supporting the social equity system. From day one, we've always supported social equity licensing and options, but the fees and the incubation that we provide is a critical component
Thank you.
to
Your
these
minute is
businesses'
up.
success. Thank you.
Caller with phone number ending in 3222, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, this is Bobby Vecchio. I'd like to make public comment, general public comment.
Sure, thank you. You have 1 minute.
Okay, great. Like I said, my name is Bobby Vecchio. I'm from the SCC. I fully support the social equity program, but I do not at all find it equitable that the rug was pulled out from non-SEP delivery operators at the last moment after 3 years of promises from the city that were relied upon. Many, countless hours and countless thousands of dollars were spent by these non-SEP operators to prepare for this process. And the city needs more delivery services, especially in the era of COVID, to serve the sick and dying citizens of the city. Also, guessing from the city's nearly 5-year moratorium on non-SEP licensees that they're trying to protect the SEP licensees from competition. I understand this, but the delay will not have its intended effect because there are already a lot of licensed delivery operators delivering into the city from outside of the city. So I just really urge the council and the DCR to consider these points and to do something about it. People are counting on you. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 1403, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on. Caller with phone number ending in 1403, you are unmuted.
Josie, let's go to the next caller,
Okay.
and then we'll come back.
Caller with phone number, oh, somebody's there. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on. Hello?
Woo! Woo! It's good shit. There you go, there. Yeah, man. It's good shit.
Moving on. Caller with phone number ending in 1200, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Yes, my name is Jacques Massachi, and I'd like to talk about all the items and general comments.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Jacques Massachi. I am owner of a property in city of Los Angeles. My comment is based upon operation of cookies and the impact on city of LA and city of West Hollywood. I have a property in city of LA, 8344 Melrose, which is in the city of Los Angeles, and 632 North Kings Road, which is in city of West Hollywood. Both properties are completely impacted by operation of cookies. These operation has caused a lot of problem in this neighborhood. We own this property for many, many years, and the impact of cookies in this neighborhood is so devastating that we have vacancies. We have hard time holding into our existing tenants. They don't feel safe. They don't feel secure. The public urinates all over our properties. They park in front of our buildings, and they have no respect into our tenants and the residents of our building. We have vacancies that we cannot fulfill because anytime they want to come, and anybody with a potential person who wants to come to the property, when they see the amount of activities that is happening in front of cookies, they all get discouraged. This is nothing to do by ownership of cookies to be a minority or not. This business is a nuisance. It's affecting everybody. It's affecting property values. It's affecting all the properties in the neighborhood. And I am asking the commission to make sure this license does not become a permanent license, and please take every steps necessary to make sure this license is taken out.
Up. Caller with phone number ending in 3946, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hi, I'm a resident on Kings Road. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Speaking on cookies and some general public comments.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Cookies has changed our community overnight, and their temporary license needs to be revoked immediately. I mean, the position within a block of a childcare center, here's a bit of what we've been dealing with: armed robberies, firearms arrests, car accidents, assaults, threats, public urination, vandalism, cannabis smoke pouring into our homes, illicit drug deals, reselling of cookies products on the streets, fights, litter, no masks or social distancing, blaring music, illegal parking, reckless driving, illegal smoking on Cookie's property and in our neighborhood by Cookie's customers, employees, security guards, and illegal street vendors all over the place. What will it take for someone being murdered or raped by their clientele? We've already had their customers rob at gunpoint, fire gunshots at local stores, and stalk women while they're walking their dogs. This is extremely questionable why these guys are still operating. Is someone being bribed? Do we have to organize protests in front of officials' homes or do a media campaign to show the negligence by your office? This has nothing to do with race at all. Cookies is a clear and present danger that is drastically affecting our lives, and their license needs to be revoked immediately. It's the only solution, and we're imploring you, me and my entire community, to do the right thing and revoke their license immediately. Do not give them a license to operate anywhere near this community before someone dies. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 4357, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, good afternoon, City Council and my community. My name is Karina Christmas. I'm also a social equity applicant. I would like to speak general public comment. I'm actually disappointed in listening to the constituents who spoke before me as if there is a tie between cannabis and crime. That is a fallacy. That is what war on drugs based upon a demographic of Black and brown people who have been degraded and criminalized. Now I have to listen to people talk about clear and present danger as if people aren't already dying on the streets. Now you're going to lie and say it's tied to cannabis? Perhaps not. I do not believe that. And to the other person who was talking about it should be all inclusive, the program was set up for people like me who did not have an opportunity because of the way I looked and based upon my economic background. Now you're saying that it's racist that the city developed a program to help me, and you feel like you're cheated because you're telling me I have to continue to be in the back of the line? I'm telling the city, no. The community of LA has to wake up and realize cannabis is not tied to crime. Your community was already filled with crime. There are liquor stores, gas stations, and bars in your community, but I don't see the uproar of people taking a piss or when you're having a public festival. Nobody gets upset about that. But now you want to lie and tell people it's because of a dispensary? I'm asking the city, do not back down. We are in a time of 2020 where people want to continue to blame issues on either a medicine or based upon the way people look. They might not look like you anymore because perhaps change is coming into your community. Perhaps people who didn't have an opportunity to get into your community is being given a chance now too, but you don't like it. There's other ways. You can ask that sheriff that perhaps you should patrol, I don't know, a liquor station. Perhaps you need to get involved with Cookies and start talking to them and having a dialogue instead of creating more lies about a medicine. And to the other person who continues to tell me to feed you before I get fed, no. LA is diverse. It is filled with Black and brown people, and we too need an opportunity. You have been sitting in a place of
your minute is up.
Me to continue to wait. I say I'm not going to wait any longer.
President On, it looks like that was all the callers.
You want to give it a few more, or is that it?
We can, oh, I see one more. Caller with phone number ending in 1930, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hi, Adam Spiker, Southern California Coalition. I'd like to discuss general public comment in item 2.
Yes, you have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. First thing I want to discuss is delivery. The behind the scenes argument is that social equity needs a head start, hence the ordinance change in July mandating Tier 1 and Tier 2 social equity delivery till 2025. We as an association appreciate the sentiment and logic, but a head start does not exist. Licensed delivery from other cities will continue servicing LA, and a robust illegal delivery industry will continue to thrive. Both instances, LA gets zero from it. A better head start for social equity would be more delivery licenses, cutting into the illegal industry, and creating more of an equal playing field for social equity operators to compete in from a price point and a market share standpoint. We have to expand the legal market and create a level playing field for consumers to transact in. Also, the city can't have an almost singular focus on social equity. They need to look at the bigger picture and focus on the health of the whole legal industry. If they don't, social equity businesses will be walking into the same buzzsaw licensed businesses in LA and the state at large have been facing since the rollout of Prop 64. The second thing I'd like to discuss is there's a current ordinance that if a license holder misses a renewal fee by even a single day, their license is abandoned. There was a motion to cure this issue and create flexibility for DCR. It was written by Herb Wesson, seconded by Curran Price, and it was to be on the council agenda September 8th, and it never got a floor vote. That needs to be looked at vigorously by the city of LA. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We need to create flexibility and incentive for the legal industry in the city of California, in the city of Los Angeles, but at large in California, to come into the legal market and to thrive and survive. Thank you.
Caller with phone number ending in 1920, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, my name is Wallace Knott. I would like to make a general comment.
Thank you. 1 minute, please.
I am a phase 3 round 1 social equity applicant, and I want to highly implore the DCR to move forward with granting temporary approval and local authorization. Social equity obviously was a program that was created for people such as myself. You're supposed to make underneath $50,000 a year. Now, the thing is, I have investors in myself, have been paying rent on a retail location since September of 2019. This is completely unethical, completely there's no equity involved in this. I mean, we're absolutely hemorrhaging money and we're just waiting. I've turned in all my paperwork on time, done the notary situation. If the paperwork needs to be resubmitted, I've done everything the DCR has asked me. And I'm losing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, and it'll be an absolute travesty if I'm not able to make it. How are you supposed to make underneath a certain amount of money but have a retail license, a retail contract attached to your license, to your application? This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and I implore the DCR, please, we are hemorrhaging money. If I'm not able to open and operate, this would be a terrible thing. I would be out of a ton of money. I would not be able to provide for my family, my community.
Your minute is up.
Thank you.
Caller with phone number ending in 0434, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hi, this is Stephanie Rodriguez. I want to make a general public comment.
Thank you. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. I just want to say to all the residents and public officials who are calling in from WeHo, Just know that we're listening. Your microaggressions are being heard loud and clear. And to name drop Councilmember Paul Koretz, who has been notoriously anti-cannabis, also does not go unnoticed. There's no link between cannabis and crime. That has been proven time and time again. Just say what is really on your mind. You're uncomfortable. The second Black and brown people are in your white neighborhoods, there's an uproar. Unacceptable. You cry for inclusion until it's in your neighborhood. Focus on a dialogue, not attacking. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with phone number ending in 2525, you are unmuted. Please state your name and the items you wish to speak on.
Hello, my name is Joni Weil, and I'm calling regarding all the items and general comment.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
I'm calling from a business directly across the street from the Cookies dispensary. We are a 54-year-old business. We've been on Melrose for 54 years. We started down the street and then moved to our present location 50 years ago. We own the property. We're a family business, and we've seen the neighborhood grow up around us. It started with quality stores and galleries on Melrose Place in La Cienega. And then the fashion world moved in for several decades ago, and it's been one of the most highly desirable areas in the city. It's a prime example of the city's mixed-use zoning. Now everything has changed. It's dangerous. Cookies and their clientele are out of control, and it's one that's simply and seriously, significantly impacted everything. We're one of many important businesses that are being hurt by the abhorrent behavior of the Cookies clientele. And I've heard the other comments. This is not about cannabis. It is about crime, however, and we have experienced it directly. We had someone at the corner of our property be held up with guns. We have staff that are very anxious about leaving the property at night. We've had to change our working hours so that our entire staff can go exit the building simultaneously. We moved up our closing time so that they can leave before darkness. We worry about delivery personnel and people who have been accosted as they're trying to park their trucks and bring things to us. And we're very worried about the continued escalation of violence. Our doors have had to remain locked even after the COVID relaxation regulations because of the concerns about the violence that's occurring in our neighborhood on a daily basis. And so we really are, we want to know what it takes to revoke a license, and we're asking your commitment that our safety and our property will be protected. Thank you.
Thank you. President On, I don't see any more raised hands.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, if there are no more public comments, I'm going to go ahead and close both the general public comment and the single or multiple agenda item periods. These periods are now closed. Before we move on to the agenda items, I do want to take some time to address some of these comments regarding cookies. I want to thank everyone, first of all, for taking time out to address this commission and notify us of your concerns. We heard an inordinate amount of comments regarding the cookie store. So I just want to let you all know that we hear you loud and clear, but we cannot discuss substantively anything in particular as it relates to a commercial cannabis business because it's not on today's agenda. However, I do want to note that there are specific license denial standards that are listed in LAMC section 104.06A1. I want to encourage folks to go and review those provisions, and that can also be followed by an administrative appeals process. I think at this point it also makes sense. I'd like to ask DCR to report back so that we can review for the benefit of the public and also this commission, the license denial standards. This is the first time this commission has been approached regarding an issue like this. And so I think it makes sense to hear from staff regarding these standards and the process involved. And also I'd like to hear any information that can be obtained from LAPD regarding any criminal activity in the reporting district where Cookies resides. I just want to also just note that, you know, there is a process. You know, we have a concept called due process of the law, and so we've got to stick to the standards and the process. But certainly these comments are concerning, and we look forward to hearing back from the department. So moving on to item number 1, commissioners, you should have received an advanced calendar in front of you regarding our future meeting dates. Please take a look now, and if there are any planned absences you wish to notify us, please speak now. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. We were sent the minutes of October 8th, 2020 for review. I'd like to have a motion to approve those minutes.
I move to approve the minutes. This is Commissioner Villa.
Commissioner Villa with the motion. Can I get a second?
This is Vice President Mason. I second.
Ms. Trevizo, please call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Villa, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Commissioner Mason, how do you vote?
Mason, yes.
Commissioner Mercado, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Commissioner Naro, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
And Commissioner On, how do you vote?
Yes.
The vote is 5-0 and the motion passes.
Thank you. I'd like to move on to item number 2 of the agenda. This is the Executive Director's Report. Ms. Packer, do you have a report for us?
I do. Thank you, President On.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners, and to the public for joining us and participating in public comment. This body is an important vehicle for members of the public to share information with the city about cannabis and cannabis-related activity. And today's comments show how much work there is to be done to ensure that we are creating an environment that is equitable and continues to promote public health and safety. Today's report specifically will cover the status of the city's cannabis licensing and social equity program, and also include a summary of activities since the last meeting of the Cannabis Regulation Commission. We will specifically give updates on Phase 3 Retail Round 1, Phase 3 Delivery, Distribution, Non-Volatile Manufacturing, and Testing, an update on processing of public convenience or necessity requests, and an update on social equity program eligibility verification. DCR staff will be assisting me in presenting today's Executive Director's report. I will now pass things over to Raina, our Public Relations Specialist, who will quickly review the topics that will be discussed today. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Packer. Today's summary of DCR's activities to date will include information regarding the following: the October 8th, 2020 CRC meeting recap, general administration, communications, social equity program, and licensing updates. Next slide. Thank you. Much has happened since this commission met back on October 8th, 2020. In addition to providing a summary of DCR activities, DCR shared new information, including but not limited to Phase 1 and Phase 2 renewal application processing, Phase 3 Retail Round 1 application processing, Phase 3 Delivery, Distribution, Non-Volatile Manufacturing, and Testing application processing, and Public Convenience or Necessity PCN request. Since the October meeting, the department has advanced licensing application processes, worked to streamline and enhance our communication strategy, partnered with reputable organizations to develop robust opportunities for our social equity applicants, and made progress on various communication and policy efforts related to our licensing and social equity program. The Department of Cannabis Regulation continues to take every precaution possible to prevent the spread of COVID-19. To help protect the health of our customers and staff and in line with Mayor Garcetti's directives, DCR has implemented the following. Cannabis Regulation Commission meetings are conducted virtually and telephonically until further notice. DCR's public service counter is currently closed. DCR licensing and information services are still available online at cannabis.lacity.org or by phone at 213-978-0738 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Time. And DCR is piloting virtual inspections. Next slide. In September 2020, the department unveiled a redesigned website. The redesign simplifies and makes more accessible information related to the licensing program and social equity program. We have created some updates to the website since it launched. We have created dedicated pages to share information about DCR, laws and policy, licensing, the social equity program, personal activity, and the complaint portal. We've added new video tutorials since the last meeting, including a video on how to register to submit modification requests, a video on temporary approval application document uploading, and SCP eligibility verification video will be coming soon. Next slide. Perfect. Vice President Mason, during the last few commission meetings, you have asked about our initiatives around community engagement and outreach. To this extent, DCR has developed a stakeholder meeting and community listening session initiative. These stakeholder meetings and community listening sessions are intended to assist DCR in developing programs and policies to better serve the community. The stakeholder meetings and community listening sessions seek to enlist engagement from a diverse group of thought leaders, community-based organizations, nonprofits, businesses, educators, and others to better inform DCR about policy programming development initiatives. DCR has an executed contract with MBI Media and is in the process of issuing a notice to proceed, or NTP, to begin work on this initiative. The department intends on launching this initiative by the end of 2020. We will keep the public appraised of our progress on this initiative as it develops. In addition to this, the department has partnered with the Bureau of Cannabis Control for a joint equity workshop. Dr. Imani Brown will provide additional information on this workshop and how to participate. I will now turn the presentation over to the Social Equity Program Director, Dr. Imani Brown, to provide a summary of social equity program related activities since the last commission meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Plummer, and good afternoon, Commissioners. I hope that everyone is well. Today, I'd like to cover updates related to our social equity program. As Ms. Plummer mentioned, the department has partnered with the Bureau of Cannabis Control for a joint equity workshop. The workshop will be held virtually tomorrow, Friday, November 20th, from 1 to 2 p.m. The workshop will include speakers from DCR, Bureau of Cannabis Control, the Cal Cannabis Cultivation, and the Manufactured Cannabis Safety Branch. Information on how to access the workshop is available on the DCR website and Resource Center on the home page and under the Updates section, or can be accessed at the time of the workshop using this link. Next slide. Next, I'll provide an update on our partnership with the Los Angeles County Bar Association as it relates to the social equity program and our applicants. The Los Angeles County Bar Association's Cannabis section, in partnership with DCR, has created a pro bono legal assistance program, which will operate through the Bar Association's Smart Law Referral Service for social equity applicants. The goal of this referral resource are to promote fair and equitable participation in the licensed commercial cannabis industry and to foster a level playing field as it relates to access to legal counsel and help deter predatory practices targeting social equity community. This referral service is available only to social equity applicants who applied in Phase 3, Retail Round 1, and were determined eligible for further processing under the Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 104.061B. Depending on demand and availability, this service may be expanded to other applicants in The Los Angeles County Bar Association is currently working to develop the program, is continuing to recruit qualified legal professionals. Next week, DCR will send a communication with instructions on how to submit the pro bono legal services survey, along with the legal services authorization agreement for Phase 3 Retail Round 1 social equity applicants who have been deemed eligible for further processing and who are interested in receiving limited pro bono legal services. DCR will be sending additional information to Phase 3 Retail Round 1 applicants in the coming weeks. Next slide. A few updates to the California Local Equity Grant and the Cannabis Equity Grants Program local jurisdictions. Earlier this year, DCR was awarded a total of $7.8 million from the California Local Equity Grant Program and the California Equity Grants Program for local jurisdiction grants. These resources will be used to provide equity applicants and licensees with startup and ongoing costs for leases, equipment, capital improvements, workforce development, technical assistance, etc. DCR is currently working to use these resources to develop and support programming available through the Social Equity Program. As part of the CEG terms and conditions, DCR is required to submit quarterly reports in order to comply with the eligible uses of the grant and to document its progress. DCR will be requesting responses from applicants and licensees for the submission of the next quarterly report. On November 23rd, a demographic survey will be sent out to applicants and licensees. It will be available on the DCR website. We are asking for responses to the survey no later than December 14th, 2020. The response is vital to understanding the communities we serve and securing future grant funding from the state that in turn funds local programming. Next slide. A few updates on the financial grant program. The department recognizes that capital is a barrier for entry for many social equity applicants. As such, we are working on initiatives to provide applicants direct financial support with the resources we currently have available. DCR is dedicating $5 million from the previously mentioned funding sources to social equity applicants for a financial grant program. This is a new program, which was first recommended by the department and adopted by City Council. DCR is working to establish the requirements to participate in the financial grant program, which will be public in the department's rules and regulations. We are happy to announce the contract for the consultant who will administer the financial grant program is scheduled to be signed this week. The department plans to launch the financial grant program by the end of 2020. I will now turn it over to Rocky Wiles, Division Manager for Compliance and Enforcement, who will provide an update on DCR's licensing program and related activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Just a minute. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I will be presenting our licensing update this afternoon, beginning with our licensing data. Currently, 418 cannabis businesses are authorized to operate within the city. We have 184 Phase 1 businesses with temporary approval. We have 222 Phase 2 businesses with temporary approval and 12 laboratories with temporary approval. As far as the activities within the city, we have 184 retail activities, 220 non-volatile manufacturing activities, 220 distribution, 213 cultivation, 12 testing labs, for a total of 849 cannabis activities within the city. I'd like to talk about the application modifications for a minute. DCR is using a registry to manage application modification requests. Registration is a required first step to submitting a modification request. Starting today, existing applicants and licensees are able to register their intent to file an application modification request. This registry will be used to manage the application modification process. Through this registry, applicants are able to select their intent to file one or more types of modifications. A communication with information related to this process, which contains additional information and links to various resources, was released earlier today and can also be found on our website in the licensing updates section. It is highly recommended that applicants and licensees review these resources, including a video. We also have an information and procedure bulletin, a process workflow, and other resources prior to registering their intent to file a modification request. I'd like to now talk about our license renewal process. Licensees must renew their licenses, which includes temporary approvals, on an annual basis. The department initiated the 2021 license renewal process for Phase 1 and Phase 2 on September 2nd, 2020, and it closed on November 2nd, 2020. 2021 renewal fees not paid by the November 2nd deadline will cause the 2020 license or temporary approvals expiration on December 31st, 2020, after 11:59 p.m. Applicants who held a temporary approval were able to request modifications to their application when they submitted their 2021 license renewal application via the DCR licensing portal, also known as ACELA. The 2021 renewal process allowed businesses to separate their licenses by activity. Upon submission, new ACELA record numbers were issued for each unique commercial cannabis activity. Licensees seeking to relocate one or more activities to a new business premises location will have an opportunity to submit relocation requests after their 2021 license renewal application is submitted and all applicable fees are paid. Lastly, businesses must be current on all city taxes through September 30th, 2020 to receive their 2021 renewal licenses. Businesses that are not in good standing with the Office of Finance through September 30th, 2020 will have their 2021 license renewal applications denied. So this concludes the information related to the renewal process. I'd like to now turn your attention to the Phase 3 Retail Round 1 application process. So we're happy to announce that DCR has concluded its review of Phase 3 Retail Round 1 applicants in accordance with LAMC Section 104.06.1b, and we have identified 200 eligible Phase 3 Retail Round 1 applications. The 200 Phase 3 Retail Round 1 applicants that received a determination of eligibility for further processing will be moving along the temporary approval process. Currently, the department is in the process of reviewing all the information submitted by the first 100 applicants as far as the temporary approval process, including equity share documentation. We will be communicating with the second batch of 100 applicants to request information necessary to move them toward the temporary approval process. If the department determines that all the information that has been submitted to us is complete, it will communicate to the state licensing agency that local authorization is underway so that these applicants can begin the state licensing process. In the meantime, however, all applicants should be working with the Department of Building and Safety and any other necessary agencies, such as the fire department, to obtain any required building permits for tenant improvements for their business premises. In addition to any required building inspections, DCR and the Los Angeles Fire Department will also conduct site inspections. A list of all Phase 3 Retail Round 1 applications with their corresponding status will be made available on our DCR website. Temporary approval may be issued when all of the above has been completed. Here is the workflow for the temporary approval process. If you see where the star is, this is where, and this has been shown to the commission previously. All the information has been submitted. The department is currently reviewing all these documents for completeness, including the equity share documentation. As soon as the department determines that all that information is complete, we will go ahead and inform the state agency that local compliance, is underway. And during this process, again, we encourage applicants to reach out to the Department of Building and Safety if they're doing any build outs that would require a permit. We will inform the state that, as I said, that local compliance is underway. We will also be conducting our initial inspection along with the fire department. Once these items have been completed, a temporary approval may be issued to these applicants. I will go ahead now and share information regarding our phase 3 delivery and non-retail processing. So the department began accepting applications for phase 3 delivery and non-retail licenses, including distribution, non-volatile manufacturing and testing laboratories on October 20th, 2020. The application process is only available online via the DCR's licensing portal. All applicants are required to first complete the pre-application review process, and after being deemed eligible for further processing for one or more license types, then required to complete the temporary approval process in order to receive temporary authorization to engage in commercial cannabis activity. All applicants will be issued invoices for the pre-application review and temporary approval application fees in accordance with LAMC section 104.19A. All applicants can prepare for both the pre-application review process and the temporary approval process ahead of time by visiting DCR's website to review the related application procedures and resources. Please note that initially, delivery application processing will only be available to previously verified social equity individual applicants. Applications for distribution, non-volatile manufacturing, and testing will be available to all interested applicants. Information regarding how to be verified as a social equity individual applicant under the expanded eligibility verification criteria pursuant to LAMC section 104.20B will be provided at a later date this calendar year. Upon verification, eligible applicants will be able to submit commercial cannabis license applications for delivery as this processing period is ongoing. DCR is not currently accepting applications for cultivation, retail, or non-volatile manufacturing. This is the pre-application review process. To date, the department has received 243 pre-application review requests for these licensing types. This includes delivery as well as all the non-retail activities except for cultivation. Out of these 243, we have invoiced 126 applicants. And as of today, 90 payments have been made to these invoices. These applicants will continue through this process until they receive a determination of eligibility, and then we'll proceed toward the temporary approval process. I'll now go through the PCN process and start with an overview of the PCN process. So as a reminder, due to recent amendments to the Cannabis Procedures Ordinance, the retail storefront application process is limited to social equity applicants until January 1, 2025. As such, prospective social equity applicants seeking to apply for retail storefront licenses can apply in one of two ways. Applicants seeking to apply in a community plan area yet to reach undue concentration, they can apply via phase 3 retail round 2 lottery or through the PCM process if the applicant is seeking to apply in a community plan area subject to a finding of undue concentration, which will be discussed in a little bit. Local law has established that per community plan area, DCR is authorized to issue one retail license per 10,000 residents. As such, each community plan area has its own limit on the number of retail licenses that DCR may issue based on the size of its population. Community plan areas are subject to a finding of undue concentration once DCR has issued all of the licenses available in a given community plan area. Information related to the PCN process can be found in the PCN procedure located under Code Section 104.03A4. DCR has also developed a number of resources for the public regarding the PCN process. There are standards, PCN standards, and that is linked to Council File 200420. We also have put together a PCN information and procedure bulletin. There's also a PCN workflow. We have also created a PCN request form that is on our website under the documents and forms menu item. And we have also put together a PCN stakeholder input request form. And I'll go through those forms in a little bit. The PCN process allows the City Council to decide if it is appropriate for DCR to accept an application from an applicant when the applicant's business premises is located in a community plan area of undue concentration. The PCN, if Council does not act on the request within 90 days of the request being transmitted to the City Clerk, the request is denied by operation of law. In July of this year, the City Council adopted standards to consider PCN requests. Those standards are on your screen now, and now for sake of time, I'm not going to go through and read them. These standards, again, can be found under Council File 200420. And I encourage anybody who's going through this process to review these standards before they submit their forms to our department. I'm going to go through the PCN workflow. So the applicant will submit the PCN request form to DCR via its licensing portal. We will review the form for completeness and then transmit the PCN request to the City Clerk, who will then assign a council file to the PCN request. This council file can be used to track its status. DCR will post a notice on our website with the council file number as required by LAMC 104.05. City Council will have 90 days to take action on this request, or if no action is taken, the request will be deemed denied, as I just mentioned. The Plum Committee will have the opportunity to consider these requests and make the recommendation to the full council. As I mentioned earlier, DCR has developed multiple resources related to the PCN process. One of them is the PCN Information and Procedure Bulletin. This to share information and procedures related to the PCN process. This bulletin includes the overview of responsibilities of both the applicant and DCR. It also includes City Clerk actions and City Council actions. The form also includes the associated forms with this process and with links to those forms that are also on our website. It includes step-by-step instructions, a link to the standards, and the applicable code sections. On the screen now, it's the PCN request form. As described in the PCN Information and Procedure Bulletin, applicants are required to submit their PCN request on a PCN request form established by DCR and submit this PCN request form through the DCR licensing portal. It is on this form that applicants will explain how the commercial cannabis activity will serve the public convenience or necessity and explain how these requests meets one or more of the City Council's public convenience or necessity standards. DCR will not advise applicants on how to articulate how their application serves the public convenience or necessity. It is the applicant's responsibility to articulate this on the request form for City Council's consideration. On the screen now, we have the PCN stakeholder input request form. As described in the PCN information and procedure bulletin, applicant shall engage with and seek written input from the following key stakeholders for the area in which the proposed business premises will be located, which at a minimum should include the area neighborhood council, the Los Angeles Police Department, division, or area station, the local chamber of commerce, and at least one substance abuse intervention, prevention, and treatment organization within that community plan area. Applicants will use this PCN stakeholder input request form to notify key stakeholders of their application with the City Council. To date, 69 social equity applicants have indicated their intent to apply for a finding of public convenience or necessity in the 6 community plan areas, subject to a finding of undue concentration before September 3rd, 2019. These social equity applicants are seeking to apply for a PCN finding in the following 6 community plan areas: Central City North, Harbor Gateway, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Sun Valley, Latunia Canyon, and Venice. DCR will begin accepting PCN request forms from these existing 69 social equity applicants no later than Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. When these applicants submit their PCN request form, DCR will review the form against the original submission via the licensing portal last September. If the applicant, business premises location, and qualified social equity individual applicant match, DCR will issue an invoice for the cannabis public convenience or necessity filing fee. DCR anticipates invoices will begin to be issued within 15 days after the submission of the PCN request forms. The requester or applicant will have 10 calendar days to pay the PCN filing fee. Once the PCN filing fee is paid, DCR has 30 days to transmit the PCN request to the City Council as shown on the workflow. DCR will begin transmitting PCN requests to the Office of the City Clerk no sooner than mid-January after the Council winter recess has concluded. DCR is not currently accepting new PCN requests. New PCN requests will be accepted in 2021. We're also not currently the department will also begin accepting PCN requests from other prospective applicants for areas that have reached undue concentration in 2021. Prospective applicants are encouraged to research the proposed business premises location and begin to engage with and seek written input from key stakeholders in advance of completing and submitting the PCN request form. This concludes the information regarding the PCN process. I will now pass this presentation back to our Executive Director to conclude today's report.
Thank you, Ms. Wiles. I will now give a brief presentation regarding social equity program eligibility verification. Next slide. In order to participate in certain programming made available through the city's social equity program, individuals must first be verified as social equity applicants. The benefits entitled to those applicants who are verified may include application processing, business licensing and compliance assistance, access to the fee deferral program, or access to financial grant program or other programming as established. For example, the chart here illustrates application processing restrictions that exist in the city of Los Angeles. And this chart, for example, illustrates, as mentioned previously in this presentation, that delivery and retail application processing is limited to social equity applicants until January 1st of 2025, as application processing is a specific benefit of the social equity program. Next slide. The criteria the city uses to determine social equity eligibility is related to criteria associated with those most impacted by cannabis criminalization and enforcement, namely having a cannabis arrest or conviction, living in a disproportionately impacted area, or being low income. Earlier this year, City Council amended eligibility criteria, and I'd like to take some time this afternoon just to talk a little bit about how that criteria was amended, and talk about some of the differences between the original eligibility criteria that was established, the expanded criteria that was established, and then specific eligibility criteria that applicants would need to meet in order to participate in Phase 3 Retail Round 2, which will be administered via an application lottery. The original criteria was based on a social equity analysis, which was conducted in 2017. This analysis also was based on and looked at individuals' status of being low income, living in a disproportionately impacted area, or a cannabis arrest or conviction. For this particular criteria, the department was able to designate qualified and verified social equity applicants into 3 tiers, tiers 1, 2, and 3. I do want to make a note that due to recent amendments in the Cannabis Procedures Ordinance, tier 3 applicants are no longer considered social equity applicants themselves. However, they are still required to provide the same resources and meet the same requirements as before. Earlier this year, the City Council adopted the findings of an expanded analysis, an expanded social equity analysis, which modified the eligibility criteria in a few important ways. Namely, the expanded analysis redefined income to include an assessment and limitation based on assets, and disproportionately impacted areas were redefined as well. Those disproportionately impacted areas are no longer defined as zip codes, but are defined as police reporting districts identified as being disproportionately impacted. The analysis itself identified over 150 police reporting districts, which will now qualify as disproportionately impacted areas. The expanded criteria now allows folks to participate in the social equity program or in certain social equity program if they meet any 2 of these 3 criteria redefined: California cannabis arrest or conviction, being low income, or living in a disproportionately impacted area, again, these police reporting districts, for a period of 10 years. Folks who would be verified under this new criteria, for example, would be able to participate in delivery, application processing, and they'd also be able to participate in the other programming that I mentioned previously that folks who are verified under the social equity program can participate in. But earlier this year, there were specific amendments to the eligibility criteria that restrict participation in Phase 3 Retail Round 2 to those individuals who have a California cannabis arrest or conviction and then meet one of the other criteria. But it's important to note that in order to participate and be verified as an applicant to participate in Phase 3 Retail Round 2, which will be administered through application lottery, these folks are required to have a prior California cannabis arrest or conviction. Next slide. DCR allowed applicants to apply for eligibility verification based on the original criteria back in the summer of 2019. This particular application period at this point has closed, but based on the original criteria, DCR was able to verify approximately 1,600 individuals as social equity individual applicants based on this particular criteria. The expanded criteria that I mentioned, essentially meaning any two of the three, we anticipate beginning the application period for this particular eligibility verification in 2021. There's no specific term for the expanded eligibility criteria. So once we open up the eligibility verification period, it should remain open. And then as folks apply for and become verified, they could then apply for delivery or apply to participate in some of the other programming that's available. But more specifically today, I do want to share initial information about eligibility verification for Phase 3 Retail Round 2, because the department is preparing to begin this application period next month before the end of this calendar year. Next slide, please. As mentioned previously, individuals participating in Phase 3 Retail Round 2 will have to have a California cannabis arrest or conviction, and then either also be low income or live in a disproportionately impacted area for 10 years. Right now, the department is in the process of developing a series of resources for interested individuals who may seek to participate in applying for eligibility verification. My staff and team are working currently on putting together a Phase 3 Retail Round 2 eligibility verification information and procedure bulletin. There will be a related video tutorial. We are working to develop a self-assessment tool so that interested applicants can fill out a questionnaire and determine if they meet certain criteria. And we've also, this is a tool that's actually available right now, we have updated our licensing map. And on the licensing map, folks can toggle on the layer social equity program. And if folks toggle on the layer social equity program, they will see the newly identified disproportionately impacted areas, again, those police reporting districts. But again, the department is currently working on preparing these resources to make them available to the public before we begin eligibility, opening up the application period for eligibility verification, which we anticipate to take place next month. Again, the purpose of Phase 3 Retail Round 2 is to identify which applicants are eligible to apply for a retail license in an area that has not reached undue concentration. I want to reiterate this because there are multiple paths forward for social equity applicants specifically who are interested in participating in retail licensure. If applicants are seeking to apply in an area that has not yet reached undue concentration, and there are many areas in the city that have not yet reached undue concentration. There are only 6 out of 35 that have reached undue concentration. But if you're seeking to participate and seek a retail license in an area that has not reached undue concentration, the way to apply for a retail license is through Phase 3 Retail Round 2. However, if you're seeking to apply for a retail license in an area that has reached undue concentration, the public convenience or necessity process that Ms. Wiles referenced before is the process that those applicants will need to follow. There are several steps involved in participating in the application lottery. The first step, again, is for applicants to get verified. And as I've shared, the department will be releasing to the public an information and procedure bulletin with specific instructions on how to apply. For folks who participated in the application period in 2019, it will be somewhat similar. Folks will have to go online, fill out a questionnaire, and then upload certain documents that the department will accept to verify that folks meet eligibility verification. The ordinance does specify that the department is only to allow interested individuals to submit eligibility verification applications for 60 days. And so we're trying to give folks advance notice now that we anticipate this process starting next month. But we want to share information about that eligibility verification criteria now. So if this sounds like something that members of the public are interested in, they can better prepare themselves. But first, folks will apply during the 60-day window to be verified to participate in the lottery. And then there will be we're trying to make this process as simple as possible. Once people are determined verified, they will need to apply to participate in the lottery. The department will then administer a lottery and identify as many applicants as there are licenses remaining available in these community plan areas that have yet to reach undue concentration. And I anticipate right now that there will be approximately 125 to potentially 150 retail licenses available to applicants through this phase 3 retail round 2 lottery. And then those social equity applicants who are identified through the lottery will be afforded a year to come back to the department with a compliant property and again, in any community plan area that has not reached undue concentration. I would encourage members of the public who are interested, particularly in eligibility verification, to make sure that you're signed up for our email alerts because we will be sharing additional information in the coming weeks about the eligibility verification process, again, specifically related to participating in the phase 3 retail round 2 application lottery. As mentioned previously, we will not be sharing information about how to get verified based on the expanded criteria until January of 2021. Next slide. Commissioners, this completes today's Executive Director's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Becker. At this time, I want to open up the floor to deliberations, questions, and comments from my fellow commissioners. None? Okay.
I have, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Naro.
Yes, I have one question. Thank you for this presentation. I do have a question about the application, the renewal process for the license. Can you or anybody from the staff describe what are mechanisms that you are reaching out to the applicants about the renewal process? I know there's the email, you probably sending them emails, but what other ways are you reaching out to them to remind them about renewing their applications?
Thank you, Commissioner Naro. I believe that it's common practice for the department to reach out to our applicants via email. All of our applicants and licensees are required to keep up-to-date contact information with the department on their Acela user profile. That is the primary mechanism in which we're communicating with applicants. I do know that in past circumstances, we have reached out via phone and have made multiple attempts to call applicants, but it's not our regular business to do that via phone. Our primary course of correspondence with applicants is through the email contact that they identify on their Acela user profile.
So a follow up to that, so because sometimes emails get changed or outdated. If you get an email that bounces back, what do you do in that situation?
So I'm unable to answer that question. Okay. What I can, and if Rocky, I don't know if you want to respond if you have additional information, but what I can tell you, Commissioner Naro, is that it is the responsibility of the applicant to make sure that they have their up-to-date contact information with us. Applicants do have mechanisms to go in and change that contact information, and that's what I would encourage individuals to do. If you know that for some reason or another, you're either not going to have access to that email or you need to change your contact information, applicants and licensees have the ability to do that as well, but it's the responsibility of the applicant to make sure that department has their information so that we can engage with them regularly about any application or licensing related matters.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Commissioner Naro, just to add to what Ms. Packer just stated, yes, in the past, we have also, and this, this is like she stated, email is the primary way of communication, but we have also, I believe, gone above and beyond and actually called, the phone numbers that we have on file, try to reach some of the applicants when we know that, there hasn't been any movement on an application renewal. We have called, and then in addition to that, it's also posted on our website, when there's the renewal window opens. So folks can also see that. And if they have made changes or if they haven't gotten their invoice, they can always reach out to us, based on what they see on our website. But it is their primary responsibility. And starting this year, all the renewals are due between September and November. So, so if by November 2nd you haven't, or sometime in November, October, you haven't received your invoice, we would encourage the applicants to reach out to our department, because every year they will be due during the same period.
Okay. Thank you both. Thank you.
I have one
Rocky.
question. Robert?
Oh, go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you. This is Commissioner Villa. One of the public speakers asked a question, and I just wasn't sure what that answer was myself, and it related to the sale of by a social equity applicant of his license to another social equity applicant, and when that would be allowed. And I just was concerned, like, is that even possible right now, or is that a situation that could really exist?
So I want to say, and I appreciate the question, I want to say it depends on the nature of what we would consider to be the application modification itself. And if the applicant itself was just adding additional owners to the application, removing owners, or completely changing the ownership structure, there are restrictions that we have in place in our ordinance that would prevent a complete transfer of ownership, except in specific circumstances. I believe that we've created a specific, and this resource is available on the website right now. It's only available to phase 3 retail round 1 applicants who have been determined eligible for further processing. But for those applicants, we have created a specific entity substitution form that if those applicants are specifically seeking to essentially place a new entity on the application, we've created a mechanism for them to do so. But it's important to note that because these are social equity applications, and this restriction actually applies to all social equity applicants, the social equity applicant themselves has to remain on the application, of course, unless they're transferring it to someone who meets the same eligibility criteria. So I believe that Ms. Wiles in her presentation had shared information about the application modification process that the department has made available to the public. Starting today, applicants will have access to a registry. We're using a registry to help us manage the influx of application modifications that are coming into the department. But for that particular applicant, what I would encourage them to do is to use that registry to communicate their intent, and then staff will follow up with them to determine if that particular request is possible.
Thank you, Director Packer. I appreciate that response.
Of course.
This is Vice President Mason. May I be next?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and an early happy Thanksgiving. I want to thank the department staff for today's presentation, and especially thank Ms. Plummer for the update on the stakeholder meetings and community listening sessions. I was wondering if we know yet at what frequency those sessions will take place?
We don't yet, Commissioner Mason, but what I would encourage you to do, and I'll be reaching out to you and the rest of the commissioners, I'd love the commissioners to get actively engaged in the design of this program. As we've mentioned, we're still finalizing the contracting process right now, and as soon as we finalize the contract process, the process is to go into program design. We are going to be working with the contractor to try and design a program that allows us to engage with as many different stakeholders as possible. And essentially, we're trying to use these stakeholder meetings and community listening sessions to develop reports that are going to be presented both to this commission and to the council. But I don't think that we've determined the frequency of these meetings yet, and it's really going to depend on what the specific topic is, because we anticipate breaking up some of these community meetings and listening sessions up by topic. So folks who want to talk specifically about the social equity program and industry related items, there will be specific meetings about that. Individuals and stakeholders who want to talk about community impact and health impact, there will be different meetings that we use to address those items. And then we also anticipate creating surveys to collect information from the public. But it would be honest to say that we've completed the contracting process. We're now moving into program design. And so if there are recommendations that you have, or even that members of the public have, we actually will be sending out a brief survey once we have the vendor on board to get feedback from the public about the program design. But we want them to happen regularly. But I'm also anticipating and hopeful that we're conducting these meeting sessions and at the top of the year, so that in the spring, we can turn those into a series of reports that we could make available for this commission and for City Council.
Given the history of our commission meetings, I would imagine that you all would be requested to include some sort of question and answer component into these sessions.
Yes, that's the intention. It's not one way. Of course, we want to receive information, but we're hoping to engage in dialogue to develop some of these policy recommendations. But we want these policy recommendations to be community driven, and so in one sense, they will just be information coming from the public that we will put into a report.
Thank you. And then I only have two more, and they were both presented by one public commenter. So I'm going to go ahead and amplify the application review timeline, if there is one in existence. And she also mentioned that she searched the website and didn't see anything regarding fee deferrals. And then I'm done. Thank you.
So the timeline, and I assume that this person was referring specifically to the phase 3 retail round 1 process, but I'll make comment about both the phase 3 retail round 1 timeline, and then also the folks who are participating in phase 3 delivery in the non-retail as well. We have just concluded the process of identifying the universe of 200 applicants who are eligible for further processing for phase 3 retail round 1. Of course, there were a group of 100 who had been previously identified by January of this year. And with the recent amendments to the ordinance outlined the different steps that those folks have to follow. Where most of the applicants are in that pipeline, I think we showed that workflow, is that they've been determined eligible for further processing. And now what the department is doing is reviewing their information and applications that they've received, that we've received for completeness. And part of that determination of completeness is a review of the equity share documents. Now, I believe that of the 200 applicants that have been determined eligible for further processing, approximately 50 of those applicants have submitted the additional information for further review. So I can't comment about the additional 150 because they haven't taken that next step for us to review their information. But for the folks who have already submitted their information for consideration, we're in the process of reviewing their information for completeness. What's going to be the lengthiest part of that review is us reviewing the equity share documentation. I anticipate that because of just the size of the cohort of folks that we have right now, there will be some folks who are able to get their determination of completeness maybe before the end of the calendar year. But I'm imagining that most folks, even in that cohort of 50, may not be determined complete until January. And it's just because of the breadth of information that we're receiving, particularly in these equity share agreements and contracts. And sometimes we may have to go back and forth with the applicant and say, hey, you were required to submit 14 documents. We have 11 documents here. These are the 3 documents that are missing, and then go back and forth. So if there are applicants who have submitted the information to us, if there are those phase 3 retail round 1 applicants who say that they have submitted information for our consideration, we are in the process of reviewing that information. And as soon as we determine that that information is complete, or even if we determine that that information is incomplete, we will notify the applicant. And it's not until we determine that the application is complete that we will communicate to the state. But as Rocky mentioned, as Ms. Walls mentioned, I would encourage these applicants to make sure, at least right now, that they've done everything that they need to do in terms of getting any type of building permits that they may need, because that is work that those folks could potentially be doing right now. In terms of applicants who applied for the pre-application review process for delivery, non-volatile manufacturing, distribution, and or testing, those folks are going through the pre-application review process first. And we don't necessarily know that any of those pre-application reviews will turn into a temporary approval. These folks will have to go through the pre-application review process to determine that the location is compliant, and then they can submit their information for temporary approval. So I know that folks still aren't hearing a specific timeline, but it's because it really is going to depend on the nature and quality of the application that is submitted. But for those folks who participated in phase 3 retail round 1 and who have submitted information for consideration, I imagine that there is a group of those folks who may get that determination before the end of the year. Other folks, they will not get that determination until the beginning of next year. And Commissioner Mason, I believe that there was a secondary question that you had asked. I apologize, I'm not remembering what it is at the moment.
The public commenter also mentioned that there was no information on the website regarding fee deferrals.
So I believe that there is a page on the website dedicated to the fee deferral program. And part of what we're doing right now, Commissioner Mason, is working specifically on the financial grant program. And we anticipate, and I think that someone asked about the fee waiver program. I want to make sure it is a fee deferral program. So folks can, if seeking to participate in that program, will essentially be making quarterly payments of that fee as opposed to paying the fee all at once. But what we're trying to do, Commissioner Mason, even as opposed to even prioritizing the fee deferral program, is trying to launch our financial grants program. I think that the financial grant program is going to be much more beneficial to our applicants because they can use that to pay for their fees outright as opposed to making these quarterly payments. And I know that Dr. Brown had mentioned today that we anticipate the vendor to be signing their contract by the end of the week. So we're very, very hopeful that we'll be able to accept applications from the public before year's end so that we can start getting those dollars out the door. And it's through the financial grant program that $5 million will be made available. In terms of the fee deferral program, we do still have $500,000 available to the public for the fee deferral program. We're trying to prioritize getting the financial grant program out the door because we have a timeline associated with spending those resources due to the grant. We have to make sure that all of those resources, the entire $7.8 million is spent before August. I believe, I'm not remembering the specific date, but we are prioritizing the financial grant program because we have a deadline to spend that money. We do not have a deadline in regards to the fee deferral program. So you will see the financial grant program before dollars for the fee deferral program are released.
Thank you for your response, Director Packer. I have no further questions. I yield to you, President On.
Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions or comments? Okay, Ms. Packer, I have a couple. With regard to the locations for the retail, for the first, now it's 200, how often is the website going to be updated? And the reason I ask is because I know there's quite a bit of movement now, relocations are happening. So folks that are looking for locations may be coming in a little bit blind. They don't know if there's another location that's pending. And so could you just talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So what we have on our website right now only reflects, we have a list of, and I believe it's on the map as well, the initial 100 that were through phase 3 retail round 1. And we will soon be able to publish a similar list that identifies the next 100. And then we'll just start to refer to them collectively as the 200 phase 3 round 1 applicants. But even in looking at the list, the reality is that many of those applicants who are on the initial 100 are seeking relocation requests. We had asked members of the first 100 who were eligible for further processing to communicate to us and indicate whether or not they would be seeking a relocation request. And I believe that of the 100, 44 applicants were seeking relocation requests. I want to remind this commission that all 200 of those applicants are authorized to seek a business premises relocation, but they have to relocate in their existing community plan area. So we'll continue to, as we continue to receive these relocation requests, we'll continue to process them. And I imagine that we'll update the website accordingly, but it is important to note that that information is going to be changing often, and particularly over the course of the next 2 months, I imagine, as those initial 200 applicants decide whether or not they want to stay in their location or move. So what we, and council members have asked this question as well, because of course they're interested in trying to figure out how many businesses are coming to their council district. What we've communicated to the council members is that we're unable to share information. Essentially, we can share the information about where the business is located, but that business relocation is not going to be reflected on any map until the relocation itself is approved. And so folks, unfortunately, won't be able to see information in the interim because we're not going to allow the applicant essentially to plant their flag in that new location until it's been approved. We can, and I can ask my staff to commit to making sure that on a monthly basis, that information is updated on our website, but it's still going to be important to note that that's going to be a snapshot in time. And that these businesses, there's no time period that ends when these businesses can relocate. So we could have a business that's seeking a relocation in May of next year. But we'll do our best to try and keep members of the public, council, and this commission up to date with how businesses are relocating and where businesses are relocating. But it's important to note that it will be a snapshot in time.
Got it. Okay. And, you know, as we start opening up the application portals, I think a lot of applicants are going to have questions along the way. What is the best means of communicating and asking particular questions about the process with DCR? Do you recommend a phone call to the main line, or is there a special email that they should be using? I just want to get that information out there.
Yeah, so we're actually working on creating a tool on our website to make it easier for folks to ask general questions. But if you're an individual who has already submitted an application for consideration, every single applicant and licensee is assigned an analyst. And so you should be reaching out to your assigned analyst, ask specific questions. Members of the public and applicants and licensees should be reaching out to their assigned analyst. We are working on, again, some tools for the website, essentially some auto-generated answers, because we get lots of the same questions. We're just trying to constantly pump information to the website so that folks have access to that information. But if you have an application number, you should have an assigned analyst.
Got it. Okay. That's all the questions that I had. I just want to thank you and the rest of the staff for putting together another comprehensive update. It was very helpful, and we look forward to the next one as well. One final point, I just want to remind the public that there is a complaint portal on our website. So if there are any issues or concerns regarding any cannabis activity within the city of LA, please utilize that complaint portal so that the department is well aware of what's happening in your various communities. You don't have to wait for the next commission hearing to notify the department. So definitely the complaint portal is on the website. Please feel free to utilize that moving forward. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for your participation today. The meeting is now adjourned. The time now is 4 p.m. Thank you very much.